should be live. I'm just making sure I'm actually resharing my screen here because I want to make sure that the audio is going to come through, since this is about text-to-speech generation. We need audio available. So I'll probably ask this a couple times as people are joining in, but if anyone on the stream already can just confirm that you can hear the audio that's going to play when I click this play button.
The morning light came slow and gold across the harbor.
I don't even hear it.
And for a long moment, nobody said anything at all.
Oh, my speakers is coming through. I see a few people here. Were you able to hear that? We'll go through a whole bunch of different open source models.
Your order of balance ships on March 5th and arrives by Waymo. The total was $34. It's CV charged to card ending Grihor.
Also, my output is coming through the speaker, so I don't know if it sounds really noisy to you. Let me know. I can try real quick and see if I can change audio. Quick, just see as people are joining in. Also, as you're joining in, say hello in the chat, maybe where you're watching from. It's always fun to hear. And as people are still joining in too, let me go ahead and actually just send out a reminder on Luma that we are live. I know that usually helps to get some people here. And if you that we are live, I know that if you built a project, let me know. And if you want to show it off in the stream with me, then you're welcome to come on to the actual stream here and share what you've built. So that's happened a lot in a lot of the other previous streams that we've done, but not as much in the generation one. So I'm not sure if people, it's like the access to GPU is what's holding people back or what there. So let me know. And then, yeah, just give me a second here as I send out the reminder that I always forget to make until I'm actually live. Join live on YouTube. All right, send that out. How's everyone doing? I'm seeing people still join in here, so I'll give everyone a little bit of time still. And I was going to see if I could adjust my audio again. And somebody said yes. I think that was to hearing it. I'll play another example again, just to make sure. Let me also just, okay, selected sound output. All right, let me try this again.
Your order of 3
It's still outputting from here, outputting from my MacBook speaker, even though I have Shure selected. Let me try again one more time.
item ships
But can anyone still hear this? It's going to be important for the rest of the stream, I think, if you can hear the audio or not. So
on March 14th and arrives by 9:30 a.m. The total was $1,203.50, charged to card ending 42. Track it at Acme Co. orders.
Can anyone hear the generated speech? If no one else responds, I guess I can pull up the stream and see myself. Probably. No.
$50.
Okay, it sounds like it's coming through if I'm looking at my stream, probably, and just kind of replaying.
$50.
I hear it on YouTube. So I'm going to assume you can hear it. Okay, cool. And someone else said yes. Thank you for letting me know. All right, and let me just pull up also our GitHub. So this is the AI build and learn kind of series that we've been doing. I assume some more people will probably join in here in a little bit. I see people are rolling in. But the AI build and learn kind of series we've been doing, not every single Friday because stuff does come up, but we've been doing a pretty good job of doing this pretty regularly on Fridays at 12 p.m. Pacific time. We basically select a topic for that week and then try to set aside time to build on that topic or specific tool that we've kind of selected. So we've done quite a bit of them now. These are all the previous ones. And a lot more people have actually done the projects and like joined the stream for these agentic ones. Actually, almost every single one, we've had kind of other people come up and present their projects and code, which is really, really awesome. And that's kind of one thing I was hoping for the series, is that people would be interested in that topic and then build something with it and then come up here and present it and kind of use the stream as like a forcing function to set aside time to build something that week. And it doesn't have to be perfect at all to present on it. My things aren't always perfect. I'm not a full industry expert by the time the week is done, but the idea is to set aside something like an hour, maybe more, depending on how much time you want to commit to it, and then build on that topic or tool and then make an example. And it kind of breaks down the barrier of getting started with that, and then you can continue down if you think that's a really interesting path. But there's so many cool tools and things that are coming all the time, so it's kind of a fun way to play around with it. Like Ragus was really fun, which is like a eval for RAG and memory, and I've been wanting to play around with it for a long time. Never actually put time aside until we actually did the stream, and it was a great forcing function to actually go build something with it. So all the code and previous recordings for that is here. And I will just mention that I don't know if it's because it's like summertime, which often affects like meetup attendance and stuff like that, or if it's that like there's no access to a GPU, or the topic is not as interesting to the people who were joining. It's just been me doing the generation stuff, which is fun, and I'm still having a great time and talking about it. But yeah, I don't know if anyone else built a generation project this week for the text to speech. If you did, let me know. And also, even if you didn't build a project, but you do want to come on stream and like discuss what you're seeing or just bring up topics, you can message me on LinkedIn, and I can share out the invite link if you want to actually come on stream here. So the last 2 weeks before today, kind of in this generation series that we've been doing, so people really seem to enjoy when there's kind of a loose arc for several of them. And we started with open source image generation, and then we did open source video generation models. So again, setting aside some time to join in and talk about, like, in this case, the open source generation models. What's up, Jay?
What's up?
Did you build any text to speech models?
Yeah, I'm doing like a comparison, basically between a bunch of the different ones that you
cool.
listed out, just to see how they do.
Cool. Yeah, I have a comparison run as well, so we can go through some of them. And then I was also able to do a cloning example, which I'll show. And then actually literally right before this, because I just use like this open source audio data set first for that. Right before this, I tried cloning my voice, and I haven't listened to it yet. So we're going to see how good it is. I literally took a clip from one of the previous streams here, added it in. And it might be really good. Actually, it might be fun to go poke around and see that real quick. But and I see someone was saying, who I think was at the last stream too, and they were talking a lot about text to speech and translation, I believe, when we were doing the videos. But yeah, they said they're heavily interested in text to speech for accessibility. And I'm curious if you've worked with any models so far that you really like for, I guess, like your accessibility use cases. Let me know, because we have some that we'll do a little comparison by. And these are just the raw generation ones out of the box. And then, like I said, I was playing around with cloning, which sounded really good from the ones I was trying. And then I just did a run on a clip from my voice, and we're going to see how good that sounds. But if it's anything like the other ones, it's probably going to be really good, which is, I don't know, kind of scary in some ways, but also really cool.
It's a little
and yeah, so the image generation ones, I won't recap everything, but it was fun to see all these different open source models and how well they were able to generate stuff or like concepts. And then the video generation, also really cool. Definitely a little bit harder and really longer runs to generate it, at least the models I was using, but this is really fun. And then now we're doing text to speech. And then not next week, because I have something on next Friday too, but the week after that, we're going to be doing open source music generation. And this kind of completes the whole generation arc that we had planning, that we were planning. And I kind of want to take all 4 of these things and combine them together. And my idea is to make, with all open source models, like a TV commercial type of thing. So like something that's, I don't know, 15 or 30 seconds that looks cool, sounds cool, has some sort of narration, and combining kind of all these different models. That's going to be my goal after, I think, or maybe even for the music generation week, I'm going to try that. So without further ado, we could test out some of these models and compare them. I probably won't press play on every single one and listen to the entire clip unless people want to, but let me know. And then Jay, we can go to yours too. And
Okay.
you might have different models that
Yeah.
I don't have in here.
They're also, I'm running them all locally on my laptop, so like some of them are still actually loading through
cool,
as we go.
Oh yeah, actually, great point though, because my cloning run did run before we go into the comparison. We can start off another comparison run here with anything, like any sentences that people want this to say. So if you want to come up with a tongue twister for the LM to try to generate, let me know. Jay, do you have any sentences?
This is what I'm using. Oh wait, that's in the private chat here.
Actually, private chat might work for me to copy over. Actually, even.
Okay. Well, I just dropped it in the other chat.
Okay. Well. Let's see. This is what Jay's is. If only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans. Nice. That sounds like a good one. So we're gonna start anyone else have a sentence they want me to put in here? We'll start a generation run with whatever we want here. If not, I'll just start this one and then we can come back to this. So if you think about it, let me know. This is now running. I'm using Flight, so this kicks off like a workflow, and I have all these downloaded models. They're cached. If they weren't already downloaded, I would download them from Hugging Face, and then I'm running all this on a DGX Spark locally right now. So so it's going to do it sequentially here. But if you had like an actual flight cluster with multiple GPUs, you could do this on a parallel, which would be nice if you had. I wish I had more than one GPU, but I don't right now. So running this locally on a DGX Spark that I'm remoting into. All right, so going over to the one that I have. So this is just some comparisons for just the open source text to speech. It's the same script side by side. And then I'm trying out some of the different voices that they have too. So some have like a female sounding voice, a male sounding voice. So this is the Quen 1.7 billion parameter.
The morning light came slow and gold across the harbor. And
The morning
for a
light came
long
slow and
moment,
gold across the harbor, and
Got a really long pause there. So some of them add like interesting like
articulations
adding,
or
like pauses and stuff like that.
weird.
It's just interesting, which I mean people do too, so maybe that's on
It
design,
like
I'm not sure.
sighed in between.
yeah it's
long moment. Nobody said anything at all.
like interesting pauses.
for a long moment, nobody said anything at all.
The morning light came slow and gold across the harbor, and for a long moment, nobody said anything at all.
This is the 0.6 billion, so a way smaller model, but it sounds still pretty decent. Like if you need to do really fast text generation too, it's going to be pretty good.
The morning light came slow and gold across the harbor, and for a long moment, nobody said anything at all. The morning light.
So, sometimes too, there'll be
very
like
excited.
accents. Sometimes some of them will have like accents. I've noticed too in them, like depending on the audio data that they're trained with. Also, some of them, like again, if they're trained in a different country, if you just put in like the actual numbers, not spelling it out, sometimes they say it in the foreign language, even if they're talking with the rest of it in English. So it's something to think about. Like, if you had an LM taking text and you want it, like maybe you transcribe it to whatever the language is that you're trying to actually generate there, instead of having like numerical representations.
The morning light came slow and gold across the harbor, and for a long moment, nobody said anything at all. The morning
Chatterbox, Kokoro.
The morning light came slow and gold across the harbor, and for a long moment, nobody said anything at all.
And this is the Kokoro.
The morning light
HTML.
came slow and gold across the harbor, and for a long moment, nobody said anything at all.
Dia messed up in this one. This happens sometimes too, is they just start generating weird noises. And I got this more with the Dia model when I was playing around with it. But also the Dia model can be really, really good. Almost one of the more natural sounding sometimes. But sometimes it also just generates weird artifacts like this. Like, I don't know why it did that.
That's interesting.
But it just did that the entire clip.
Like, no matter what text you gave it?
No. Like, it just sometimes will just do this. Like, I don't know why. And like, maybe there's some way to prevent that that I'm not aware of for that specific model.
The morning light came slow and gold across the harbor, and for a long moment, nobody said anything at all.
This one's under 1 billion and sounds really good, I think, too.
Yeah, that's super clear.
The morning light came slow and gold across the harbor, and for a long moment, nobody said anything at all.
Like, I think that just out of the box type of stuff without a lot of tuning is one of the more natural sounding ones for me.
The morning light came slow and gold across the harbor, and for a long moment, nobody said anything at all.
Also kind of good. Not quite as clear, but almost sounds more realistic that way.
Yeah.
And
it's almost over a phone.
Yeah, and to show a Dia one, so the Dia 2 can do some things like you can add in some more descriptions, like tell it to laugh, or say that there's like a speaker 1 and a speaker 2, and it'll do some sort of variation on it, which is pretty interesting. So a lot of the other models don't do that. So this one you can see, like, it's saying like S1, S2, and then laughs here. And if I do that with the Quinn model.
Okay, but did it actually work? It worked on the first try. I could not believe it either. No way. You have to show me.
Like, it just sounds like one person kind of talking, kind of weird. The Dia one.
Yeah. Okay, but did it actually work? It worked on the first try. Could not believe it either. No way. You have to show me.
Like, it sounds like a phone conversation between two different people.
Yeah. That was
and with the laughing.
That was like that's surprisingly good.
Yeah, right. And this is the one that had the weird artifact generation.
Okay, but did it actually work? It worked on the first try. Could not believe it either. No way. You have to show me.
You see, this one doesn't have the laughing, but it also generates fine here, I think.
She sells seashells by the seashore. The specific statistics she cited were both thorough and thoroughly unusual.
Like the Dia one, I don't know, the way the voice does like inflections or something, like it's almost one of the more natural sounding ones to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the ones I was comparing, just kind of out of the box, that are open source, pure generation. We can go look at a cloning run real quick. Let's see. This one. So this is an open source audio data set. So this is the reference voice here. And then again, like I was saying, we'll go look at my voice and see how it works, because that'll be extra interesting to me. But this is a reference voice from like an open source data set on Hugging Face.
Mr. Quilter is the apostle of the middle classes, and we are glad to welcome his gospel. Nor is Mr. Quilter's manner less interesting than his matter.
And then this is the I guess this is the clone one.
I was going to call you back, but the whole afternoon got away from me.
Definitely sounds pretty like way more similar to the voice than the base model, like we had just heard.
I was going to call you back, but the whole afternoon got away from me.
Even the 0.6 billion parameter sounds pretty good there. And this is the Quinn clone. And then Chatterbox is a clone.
I was going to call you back, but the whole afternoon got away from me.
This is a Dia one. Looking at the audio, I'm pretty sure it messed up again here and just generated weird artifacts. I don't know what it's doing. So like, I don't know if there's something weird with that model sometimes where like collapses or something like that. Not 100% sure, but when it works, it's really good. So I don't know if there's something stupid I'm doing or some way to kind of get around that.
A little bit more of the parameter tuning that's available for that one.
Yeah. And then the cloned ones don't have it. The Quinn clone doesn't have a default voice because it's just made for cloning. But Chatterbox like was in the reference one before.
I was going to call you back.
So that's the clone one, and it sounds pretty good. This is the original one.
I was going to call you back, but the whole afternoon got away.
It sounds very different and very robotic. So I think adding the clone, adding just the natural voice into the models really seems to help just make it sound more natural, even if you're not trying to exactly imitate that voice, but you want it to be just more natural sounding. It seems to help a lot. So like here's the CSM model.
I was going to call you back, but the whole afternoon got away from me.
And the original one.
I was going to call you back, but the whole afternoon got away from me.
And then let's actually go look and see how it did on my voice. That'll be kind of scary. Clone. All right, so this is a clip from the last stream for the video generation. So if you want more detail, you could probably run a larger one if you can. And then LTX 2 and LTX 1.5 or something is out. LTX and 1 are the ones that I see come up the most. And then, so were you going to say something?
Yeah, it's confusing because it's like it actually sounds like you talking right now.
Oh,
like because anyway, I wasn't immediately looking at the screen and then it just continued.
Got it. All right. Yeah,
okay,
so that was the recording.
That's
clip.
real you.
That was real me. And then this is the cloned version. So here's Chatterbox. I was going to call you back, but the whole afternoon got away from me. Sounds very robotic. Not a complete clone, really. And then here's Quinn. I was going to call you back, but the whole afternoon got away from me. That one sounds way more like it. And it
closer
adds in like my talking, which is interesting because it doesn't have that in the prompt there. It adds in kind of that mannerism.
That's interesting. Play that one again. That was like
I was going to call you back, but the whole afternoon got away from me.
Yeah, it starts to drift off at the tail end. Like it gets a little lower for some reason, but in general, that's pretty good. That was the Quinn 3.
That is the Quinn 1.6b clone.
Okay.
And then here's another clip. So same clone, but different text here. Here's the Chatterbox one again. Honestly, that is the single best news I have heard all month, and I am not even exaggerating. And here's the Quinn one again, which was better in the last one anyway. Honestly, that is the single best news I have heard all month, and I'm not even exaggerating. I think it's pretty
close.
Good.
That's like you could drop that in mid sentence or mid dialogue, and you might not detect that was actually the clone.
Yeah. Oh, and did somebody put a prompt that we should generate in there, so I can actually get that started. Let me copy it from the YouTube side of things. We put gotta take a second for that to load. Also, so the thing, Jay, is your prompt, which is done now. So it's if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs.
Did it take that long to go through all of these different models? Is this running on your Spark?
Yeah, so this is on the DGX Spark, and it just runs them sequentially here. So you can see that.
So we're like
some models
in minutes or.
Yep, I mean you can see that the DIA took 1.20. Actually, if I click in, it was probably the first one. So the actual generation time was 1 minute and 25 seconds. Sometimes it'll say longer here, but that's part of the queue time. So like if it's the last model, it actually only took less than a minute for the Chatterbox to generate. You can also see it failed, but Flight retried it, which is great. Nice. So like I failed for some reason, and then I'll do auto retries inside the pipeline, which is super nice. But yeah, you can see the time. Like a lot of them are under a minute, but I had to basically do them sequentially and like load in the model each time because I just again running this on a single GPU here. And then they get embedded in this report, which you can embed again directly in Flight. And this is nice because it all gets versioned with your in this case it's text that goes in there, but it's really nice for like prompts and stuff. Like when I was doing images, it's easy to go back and see all your experimentations kind of in one place, and then you get like the reports here. So let's listen to the Quinn one.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
That was a strong O at the beginning.
Let's try the Quinn one.
Oh, if only this body bestowed was more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
And they have different
stronger accent.
They have different personalities. I haven't tested all these out. Like, so this one's Eric, which sounds, I don't know, like European or something like that, maybe with an accent. And I don't know if they all like, or if he always sounds like that, or sometimes again, if the model decides to make it sound a certain way. Chatterbox.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
The O is really making them go a little crazy here.
Yeah.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
Bytes. This looks off to me in the generation.
Huh.
So
yeah.
If only the
it's actually just really quiet.
Oh, they're like walking away.
body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
That's interesting that it would go so quiet there.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, this is a good question that I haven't done a lot of experimentation on too, is how do these models work for a long text, say
like a transcript,
a 1 hour meeting transcript with multiple speakers? I think the multiple speaker one, a lot of the models aren't going to change their voice automatically for it. You could use probably a different model that does like detects speakers, like changes in voices. I think there's even open source models for that. They're not the generation piece, they're like a detection piece.
They just
and then you'd have to like
segment the
label it. Yeah, you'd have to like save it or label it, and like you could,
and then like feed them into these sequentially and get it back.
Yeah, you could say like this speaker 1 is always Eric or whatever, right? And speaker 2 is always whatever this other voice. Or like the Dia one, I don't know how many speakers it can have, but it does have like you can have the speaker 1, speaker 2. I haven't tested limits of that. But it's a good question. I haven't tried like an hour like generation thing. We could try a longer transcript maybe here, depending on how long it runs, how long it takes to run, and see how it does. Because I think I've done, it's like 15-second at the most or something like that for these. And these models work by generating, like in theory, it should be fine, I think, because they work by generating like, not exactly, I mean it's similar to like generating tokens, but it's different. They generate I forget what it's called, but you get like these sound bites, and then they have another thing that's like the vocal encoder piece that takes that representation, actually turns it into the audio. So I'm actually curious, if it does a longer, maybe we'll try a longer paragraph and see how it does, and I'll just do like one model or something, and it maybe won't take that much time. But the cloning, I don't know, surprisingly good. Like if I wanted to sound more natural, like I thought it was interesting that this one had the like in it that isn't part of it. I think that's interesting that you get that with the cloning pieces, like kind of behavioral things, the voice. I was going to call you back, but the whole afternoon got away from me. Like I don't know. I'm interested to play around more with that.
Yeah.
Did you have anything you want to show from your like local projects? And
I can share my screen real quick. I'm just
and if you're doing that, I might try to take a paragraph, like a longer paragraph, and try to generate text from it, or
see how it does.
Also, anyone else, if you're joining in the chat, if you built anything, let me know, or if you want to come up and talk about it on stage.
So this is just a pretty simple Gradio demo. Some of them didn't run through like Orpheus and F5 TTS, but looks like I've got some results from Kokoro, Chatterbox, and then Piper as well. So I had input the same set of text. Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans. And then I also had like a graph down here, basically just capturing the amount of time I think it took for each one of these to generate. I was generally interested in seeing how close any of these models can get to like real time. You give them some sort of text and they give you something back within a super short time span. So
and it's running on what's the hardware it's running on?
This is just on it's a MacBook Pro M4 with 64 gigs of unified memory. So it's a Pro Max.
Cool.
But
so I wanted to try to make I didn't get to it, but I wanted to try to make a real-time conversational chatbot or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think the DGX Spark, it might work, but the DGX Spark memory bandwidth is kind of a lot slower than a lot of other accelerators too. So I bet that Mac hardware actually is even better for the inference.
Yeah, that is going to be the next thing I try to poke at with these models. And I think there's some different ones that are focused more on doing like the real-time kind of duplex conversation where you can talk at it and it gets converted into text or embedding or vector space and then generated back to you as a response, like real time. But we'll see. That's definitely.
I can't hear it. If you share your screen,
shoot.
If you can remove it, and then there's a little checkbox at the bottom that's like share audio. That's I did that at first too, and then I forgot, and I had to restart my screen too at the beginning.
Yeah. How about?
How
about now?
Hang on. Do it again.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
Can you hear that?
I can hear it now. Yep.
Oh, okay. So that was Kokoro 82 mil.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
Chatterbox.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
That one sounds like a Skatari.
Yeah.
from Warhammer 40K.
It was that O was like almost like morose.
They have some bytes and booleans in their body, I think.
Yeah. I think they've got more than a few.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
Oh, yeah, that one gets like it's a little more dramatic. And then Piper.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
That's interesting. That one sounds almost like the Microsoft synthesized voice.
That's what I was just thinking. It sounds like the browser one, like that. Yeah, they made for Edge or something like that to read things.
Yeah.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
Like that sounds like it was trained by synthetic speech data. At least. Wow, that's interesting.
Which I think, sometimes you might want that too. Like if you're trying to make it very clear that you're talking
it's
to
not
a robot.
Yeah. Let's see. Wait a minute. So Piper, that's interesting. It looks like that one actually took longer to generate. I'm going to try and rerun these and see how long that actually takes. But anyway, that's what I have right now.
Cool.
Oh, wow. That one
was
is
fast.
pretty fast.
Oh, if only this body bestowed were more bits of beliefs than bytes and booleans.
Yeah, I mean, not real time, but 6.5 seconds is pretty good.
Cool. One thing I was thinking that might be fun to try too is we have the audio generation. There is several different libraries for this, but someone had mentioned a specific one last time during the video stream about doing like dubbing, like automatic dubbing into a video. And so I want to maybe take like the voice generation piece and then try putting it in a video clip that's generated from like WAN or LTX, and then see how that looks. I think that would be very, very interesting.
Yeah. Do you remember that was a whole thing on YouTube for a long time? I'm sure there's people still doing it, but you just take the sound away from movies and then try to overdub what it looks like they're saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What was that called? Like bad lip reading or something?
Bad lip sync or something.
Yeah, something like that. Like I remember. I'm sure there's multiple ones, but so I'm running a pretty large paragraph. I copied in. It's longer than I copied some extra stuff I didn't need to, but I copied just the top Wikipedia part for Oppenheimer, the movie in here.
Oh.
And so it's got weird formatting here too, so I don't know what that's going to sound like, but I was just trying to get a longer paragraph. I should have taken out that top part, but I want to see if it collapses like the longer it goes. So the other ones are still generating, but this is the Parler Mini, so I can run. Oh, did it do it in chunks? Oh, so I guess it did
Oh, like it broke out those lines?
Oh,
how did it
this is my
separate them?
bad. I know why it did this. I'm going to stop this run. So the reason why I did this is because I made I made this where I can add multiple lines here, and it would do it as a separate generation for the model.
Just automatically.
So it just added like an insane amount here. So let's just try. This is my bad for being kind of stupid. Let's just make this paragraph part all one. I think this is all going to be one line now. So let's see if this works. That was my bad. I did that so it'd be easy to do multiple sentences during the stream. And I was like, what? 1 second.
Christopher Nolan.
the director. Let me see if there is a longer chunk already though from the paragraph. Okay, so here's like a 29-second one.
Yeah.
Well, the other one's running. Let's see if it kind of collapses. And I only have this on the Parler one here. So
Premiered at Le Grand Rex in Paris on Tuesday, July 22nd, and was theatrically released in the United States and the United Kingdom on July to Level Pictures. Its concurrent
you can hear it says numbers weird, and I think this is one of those things where I don't know where this one was trained, but if they're trained in like a different country and by default it reads these numbers like in a different language, I've seen that happen. So like that's why it sounds really weird on the numbers. I think
because it was like Gilliversal Pictures. It merged that whole sequence together.
Release with Betty, that high than Vermkein, phenomenal in high intake.
It might be a collapse scene.
All right, it's no longer intelligible.
By midnight clue and Gulka's a high clue until being overtaken by a wolf. The Hoyim can call up the whole anything high cliff. High
I don't know, and it might be one of those things. We'll see how it does with the other models too, because I don't know if it's something too like if it gets, I don't know, certain numbers. I'm making this up, so I don't know if this is why it's doing it, but like if it gets a certain amount of numbers in a row, does it kind of just go into another language? I can't tell, or is it completely gibberish? I don't know. Let's see, this one has numbers in it too, but let's see what happens.
The recipient of many accolades, Oppenheimer was nominated for 13 awards at the Tooth Academy under 7, including Best Picture, Best Director Nolan, Best Actor Murphy, and Best Supporting Actor Downey. By many, by the Mayan Film Institute, by the National Board of Review, and the American Film Institute, by the named one of the top one of students. I was named one of the top and top-leading best film.
It's interesting. It's like definitely
it just trails off like muttering
a little bit. Yeah. I'm curious with that longer paragraph.
Is there like a context length or essentially like a text string length that they start to fall off at?
They're probably, I mean, there must be a context length that
that would be interesting to compare.
There's even a setting for it, and we just didn't update it. But we'll try out if they go fast enough. Some of these other models would be interesting to see with this much longer paragraph. This looks like it's one prompt now. So someone asked, can I adjust the speed of the audio? I don't know. I don't know if that's I mean, you definitely could. It might not be a model parameter. You can adjust the playback of the MP4 though, or however it's generated. So yes, there would be ways of doing it. I don't think a lot of the models have it as a parameter, but you could add it in the UI. Like I know some of the chatbots, I think, have that built into the UI, and my guess it's not the model parameter, it's a playback parameter. Let's see, Dia went. This one again, it's one of the models that kind of goes off the rails sometime in our other short experiment. So let's see how it does with this longer paragraph. And I wonder, this is 29 seconds. I wonder if that's kind of the attention cap here. And so like maybe you would have to chunk these up probably. I didn't look at their caps. So that's a very real likelihood is that you would make chunks, generate that text, make another chunk, generate it. And I just didn't build this to do long form.
Oppenheimer is a 23 biographical thriller film written, co-produced, and directed. It follows the life of Oppenheimer, the American film physicist who helped
I feel like it's trying to fit it into its context link.
Yeah. It's like I know that I'm running out of time, So I have to just say like, direct. Like I can't say full words.
It's like if someone tells you like you have only 30 seconds to
3
say
seconds
this
to read
entire
this paragraph.
or you die. Like that's
Oh my gosh, that's
interesting. So what I'm thinking is, based on our experimentation, is that we have to do the chunking, which makes sense. when
yeah,
you think
like
about it.
overwhelming the amount of context it can take in. Wow.
It makes sense that you would have to do it. I just didn't try it for my playing around with it this week, but yeah, I would do like 3 second
Break it
chunks
into
or whatever,
sentences,
probably.
or
Generate them, and then you can stitch them together or something like that on playback. But and I assume when you're doing a live conversation bot, that's how you would want to do it anyway, because that's going to be faster probably. You can start serving up words as you're rendering the next ones, would be my guess. Oh, this one looks more consistent in its audio wave. This is the CSB 1 billion.
It follows to 8, sorbs to elate, aid, ments, which other is Buppen Stardia, my time to sources nuinosaurus as Oppenheimer, alongside Robert Downey Jr. as the.
Oh, it's only 10 seconds.
oh, and then it's just like, nope.
Yeah, so
Done.
Definitely context link.
Yeah. Wow.
This is kind of a fun to see though, like the model collapse with this.
Yeah, it would be interesting to compare across all these different models, like how long does it take for them, like how long of a sequence basically can you feed in before they start breaking
a lot
down?
of that's probably documented too. Like if you go look at the model itself, they probably say what the context length is, and like what those tokens, like what the max amount of tokens should be. And we just did not do that, which is I don't know. It's fun doing this live and finding out limitations of the models. But yeah, if I go back and do a real-time chatbot, I think it would be whatever some optimal amount of chunking is, and then serving up like 3 seconds and then the next 3 seconds or whatever that would be. And that would make sense for a live conversation anyway, because you don't want to wait to generate everything before it starts talking. I assume it does like some generation and streaming. Like if you use the ChatGPT version of this, of their voice or whatever. Let's see. Parlor Mini. This is the one we did last time, also fell apart. So sure, it's going to fall apart again. Only 27 seconds here. It's interesting to see how much
I feel like it's in pain.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how much they fall apart too, where it's like it's not like they just do the first part and then stop, right? It's like the whatever attention mechanism just can't figure out what to focus on.
Yeah, and it's like trying to compress everything that it got into a reasonable length response, but it like muddles the information together.
Yeah, this is fun.
That one sounded like it was in pain.
Yeah. Anyone else in the chat have I don't know, any other fun like use cases or anything that you're thinking about using text to speech for?
Or a fun sentence.
Or a fun sentence. We could stop this run and do a shorter sentence. And then also, what topics do you want to work on next? So again, it's a really fun way to kind of use it as a forcing function to set aside. Again, it doesn't have to be an insane amount of time that week, especially if you're using like Claude Code or other coding agents. You can do quite a bit in an hour, getting like a prototype up, and you can come present that. But any other topics that you think would be interesting? So the next one, we're doing that open source music video generation. There's a open source one I've used before called Ace Step. I think a new iteration of it is out, and I'm planning to use that. I'm going to look at what other ones are out there too. But I know last time I kind of looked at this, that was the best open source model. And it was almost on par with whatever Suno's model was at the time was, or at least their free tier. I know they both had probably a different iteration since then. And then we're going to do reinforcement learning in MujoCo for like physical AI. So this is going to be different than like GRPO type of stuff. Something that's come up several times with people in the stream that they want to do. So I'm excited for that, but that kind of moves us outside of this generation piece. And then I didn't post this yet, so it's going to be similar to the MujoCo one. So maybe we could skip it if we wanted to, but it's a different simulation project by NVIDIA called IsaacSim. So I think it has more advanced capabilities than MujoCo. And then this arc is kind of on purpose where we're doing all this generation stuff, and then we do some like simulation stuff with reinforcement learning. And then we're going to take a look at some of the open source world models. And some of them you can use in the simulation networks. I haven't done this yet, but I'm pretty sure that you can use like Dreamer v3 and run that in something like Mucho Co. So that's why I wanted to do the reinforcement learning environments and then start going into world models. NVIDIA has one, has what is it? Like they call it Cosmos models. So they have different models under that kind of umbrella, but Cosmos is like their open world foundation models for physical AI. They have several different ones in there. Hopefully they're runnable on my DGX Spark. I haven't tried it yet. In theory, I think at least some of them are. But they seem really cool. Like a lot of stuff around physical AI and like self-driving cars and robotics. And then there's a different type of world model, which is, again, I haven't really dived super deep into this, just skimming it as I'm making the topics. VJEPA, which is I don't know if LeCun made it, but he was talking about this a lot more. Like instead of doing LMs, like the way that JEPA does things, is more interesting potentially to reach AGI or whatever the next step is.
Yeah,
so
it feels like he's been on that for like a decade now.
Yeah,
he's like really pushing that over LMs.
Yeah, so it predicts, again, I haven't like dived into this. The point of doing it is going to, or point of having this for one of the weeks is to do this. And hopefully there's like an open source implementation, I think, that I can try to run. But it predicts the representation space instead of like pixels for like a physical environment or like video understanding. So I don't know, it'd be very interesting to go through. I think there's at least these kind of 3 different types of world models that a lot of people say they want to do some with world models. Hopefully these events will be like a kickstart for that. And they're all a little bit different. And there's some other types too. Like the other one is like game generation, which I think there's some open source models for that. And I was thinking about trying to find that and add it in as well.
Yeah.
And the date for these is TBD. I have some work travel coming up, so I'm just trying to get that kind of booked before I post the events up. So this other one later August, and then I will hopefully get these posted pretty soon. But hopefully you're interested in those. And then next, should we go back to agentic applications? Like what's next? There's so many different things and so many different tools that are interesting that I want to poke around at. I think like computer use agents would be interesting. Browser use agents would be interesting. So many other different tools like for making agents more reliable, like BAML, that I've been wanting to set aside time for. So if anybody has thoughts and ideas for those, let me know. You can let me know right now in chat. You can let me know on LinkedIn later. There's also a Slack group and part of Flight, which is the group is the Flight open source group, which is the tool I'm using here. But there's a channel that's like ML and AI, and I kind of post about the topics and stuff for that week in there. So if you have any, let me know in either of those places of what you'd like to work on next. Oh, and this failed. Oh, I bet they just can't read the context link that
like it's just too much
pasted
text.
in. Yeah. These all failed and restarted. Yeah, maybe the context link. Also, sometimes I've noticed if I just do a lot of runs in the DGX Spark, there's like leakage into the memory, and I have to clear out the memory once in a while. So some of them might get like a CUDA out of memory error. Like this one might be. Yeah. So yeah. CUDA memory error location. So yeah, I could rerun this once I clear that probably. But I've noticed that happens just on, I don't know, the Mac might do this too, but if you're running a lot of stuff, you get some like leakage, especially if you're using these large models. And for this run, basically I load them in and then I unload it and load it in. And there's just some leakage that seems to happen in my memory. I have to clear it out once in a while. But yeah, this is fun. I've enjoyed the generation series and like just playing around with different stuff. Like, did I exit out of the video? And I thought was really interesting. And I'm excited to try to add some narration.
Yeah, I mean, these are obviously generating. So first off, we were talking about this earlier, and now I'm like, I want to try and I want to figure out how you would like generate text or generate voice dubbing over top of videos without sound. So basically do the bad lip syncing, but with a generative model. Yeah. And just see how that goes.
Yeah, there's a let me pull up the model that someone talked about last time real quick because it sounded really good. I didn't try it yet. But I want to. Oh, okay, yeah. So I think this is one by ByteDance, which I mean they have a C-Dance, like their video generation model is definitely seems like one of the best, even though it's not open source. But I'll share this in the chat too. This seems really interesting. So it takes in, and I haven't run this yet, so zoom in. We'll see how it works, but basically it seems like from the graph, like you get the reference frames and it'll mask like the mouth part of it, put it in like a variation autoencoder, and then take in the male spectrogram, which is kind of the stuff we were seeing. That's like the representation of the voice that it had in the report, takes these audio embeddings, and then it has this like encoder decoder piece that will rebuild the mouth like from that masked frame with the reference frames with again hypothetically matching the speech in here. So I haven't done this yet, but I do want to do this, and I might do that for well I'm going to do the music generation, and then it could be another event actually combining them all, but I might just try to do that as a separate project or even during the music generation one. And the music generation isn't happening next week, it's the week after. So there's actually 2 weeks between the next stream. And so it might be enough time for me to do this because I want to do music generation and then maybe have that standalone stuff with Tess and then try to combine everything that we just did and make a little short clip. And that be like a 10 to 30-second video that has like narration or talking would be really interesting.
So then the next one, is that going back to ACE? You were talking about
you don't have to use ACE. It's going to be the open source
music
generation.
Yeah. No, I've been working on some music again, and my interest there is just generating like stems, like see if it can actually just create a certain kind of percussion track that can be used in something else. That's high enough quality now.
Yeah, and what was the Google model called that you were using?
That was Magenta Real Time 2.
Oh yeah. That seemed interesting.
Yeah, I mean it, and like sometimes you can get pretty good quality out of it, but it's not as clean as ACE because it takes longer for ACE to generate them, but they're higher quality. The Mojoko one, it's all trying to do it, in like 2 or 3 second chunks continuously.
Kind of like we were saying for the voice generation, you probably want to chunk it up to be real time, and that's like all that model does basically, right? It's like real time.
Yeah. Like I remember some of the generations that you did through ACE. I mean, they're more comparable to like Suno.
Yeah.
Where you can say create a song that does these things and has this instrumentation, and it will create like a structured 2 or 3 minute song, and it sounds reasonable. And it's like coherent across a long period of time. Magenta Real Time, it's only coherent across maybe a few seconds, and it just continues to step forward from there. So it will drift forever.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like following like a 2 or 3 minute song structure at any point.
And one thing I want to do, I might try to do this on a hosted flight or like on Union, because I think we have maybe some big enough GPUs for some of the video models. Like I think I can maybe use like an L40S, which has like 48 gigabytes of memory. So if I can have a model that fits in there, I'm not sure I have to test which ones or how big the really good ones were, because actually I might have it logged in here. Yeah, like the LTX distilled is like 73 gigs. I guess I might be able to do it in like using multiple GPUs. I'll have to test it out. Anyway, my point is it'd be interesting. I want to like try building a workflow for this video generation or image generation too, because you give it a prompt, but or a reference image, and then you usually give it like a seed as well for like the diffusion piece. And it'd be interesting, like if you're generating a video and you're going to string together clips, I would imagine it's useful to be like, give me 5 different ones, from different seeds, and then I can select the best ones and like add them together. So that it might be a really cool workflow. And if you have more than one GPU, you could do all those in like parallel. And then have them in like a report like this. And then maybe you have the next step
Like
is
which one's
you
closest to what I'm thinking.
Yeah, like you can view them all and then say, okay, now take, video 1, 5, 6, and 8 or whatever your reference is, and then
like slap them together.
Yeah, slap them together.
Make
And
a
I
clip.
think that would be probably a cool workflow, I'd imagine too. Because I don't have a good video workflow. I know other people build workflows that work in it way more, and they use like Comfy UI, which probably has something like that, or potentially has something like that. But I think it'd be nice, and then you can do it all visually in like a report here, embedded, and then this will always be logged. So you can come back to like your prompts and the references, and then maybe even maybe do that with the images too. Like if you're starting with a reference image, have different seeds and be like, this is the scene I'm thinking of is number 5. Start with that and generate different clips based on it, and then how to tie those clips together. It'll be interesting to see, I guess, how that works. Because the videos definitely drift too, because a lot of them only generate like 5 seconds at a time or something like that at the most, and then you got to switch or like restart them, and that could be from the last frame. But as you mentioned with the audio, same with the video, usually starts drifting and can look really weird. And I did experimentation with that in the last stream too, where it was like
for longer videos.
Yeah, like I forget if this is the right one to show or not, but trying to reground it from like the reference image. There was some stuff I was doing that it was helping. This might not be the good one, but let's see. This is the whole one chain. Yeah. So I mean, you just see it's like from different areas. Like this just gets weirder and weirder, and it just starts falling apart. Even if you're using reference frames. So this is stitching like 3-second videos together or whatever. This is 2-second videos. But I was doing some experimentation with like how to like refine that.
I mean, what is the longest like just contiguous video generation tool that you've even come across? Because it's interesting that we have things like Suno where you can generate a 3-minute full song from beginning to end in one go, but I haven't seen a video gen tool that does that yet, where it actually makes sense across the whole structure.
Yeah, I don't know what the I don't know yet. Like I'm not C dance and stuff, and some other really cool looking video generation tools. I don't know what their context length is either. From what I've seen, they were shorter, but that might have changed now. The one thing I was trying here too, because so like this is a chained video that you can see like between the 2-second clips, you can see it changes a little bit. Like it gets darker, some lighting is changing. The end, there's some weird artifacts there, but this is like one of the better ones I was able to chain together. This is just chaining, and I think this one might have used a reference image to try to get kind of the colors back right. And I'm not sure if the background, like these signs, might warp a little bit too, but it does like a decent job. But that's a common thing, is like this background, it does it every 2 seconds. It's maybe hard to tell, but this changes quite a bit if you're actually looking at it. So then I was doing something like generating video, extracting out like edges,
like the scene from the subject.
Yeah, and the scene here, so it has like the sign back there, but now it's all blank. And then I basically reinsert stuff back in. And this one looks weird because it's all dark now. But I think there is something to that. Like these signs don't change as much anymore, because now you're basically like reimagining the scene, but with a
structurally it's more coherent.
Yeah. And it's like there's actually one I did that was like an anime style that looked really good. And that's a dark one again. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm sure again people actually working this have probably cool research they've done and know way more about it than I do. But like here's an animated one.
Oh, interesting. It's almost rotoscoped.
Yeah, it does. It actually is like rotoscoping. It's like watching the old Lord of the Rings cartoon.
Yeah.
Or Wizards.
Yeah.
What is it? Rashki and Bask, or what was that studio?
Oh, Rankin
called?
Bass.
Yes.
Rankin Bass.
Yeah, it looks like that. It kind of becomes rotoscoping. But I think there's a way of doing this with still making it look realistic too, is kind of what I was experimenting with. And again, this isn't my full-time job. I was just doing this the other week for this kind of stream. But I want to come back to it and see, because there might be something to this. There's probably better research papers on this even, and I need to look them up. But it seems interesting.
Yeah, that's actually that I'm curious why that is now, because if you can produce an audio clip, which is also a sequential piece of media, and it needs to have a consistent structure over like 2 or 3 minutes for a full song to come out as part of one generation pass. But I found an example while we were talking about that. I found like there's this one particular video that I think was from one of the Seed Dance releases a few months ago that is about 10 seconds or so, and it's like pretty coherent, and it's an interesting sequence because somebody put in a long prompt for it. But I haven't seen much come out that's longer than this, or significantly longer than this in one pass. Yeah. This also does have sound as well.
Oh, let me bring up your screen real quick.
Okay, so you can see it. And like that's
like the jumping sound to boom.
Yeah, everything slows down. Like the prompt was very detailed about that. It wasn't perfectly matched to all the things that were directed in that, but that's the longest I think I've come across that was just a single output.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm now curious why we're still blocked on longer length context for that.
I imagine it's really hard with like the pixel space is really big.
Yeah.
Whereas the video or the music ones, I guess I have to look at the latest, but I think for some of them, at least in the past, I have to verify that A-Step does this, but it's like, I think they have multi-channel things too for different instruments and noises. Sometimes I could be wrong for A-Step.
So like it generates different layers of the composition that's in parallel.
At least that was some of them in the past. I don't know for the current state of the art. I don't know if that's what Suno does. I don't know if that is A-Step. I thought it might be. We'll find out. Actually, let's see if we can look real quick. There might be a newer version too. Let's just see if they happen to have a graphic. If not, we'll be covering this next time. And hopefully I'll dive more into it. But yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have a here we go. So architecture, instruction capture, lyrics, a lyric encoder. You can give reference audio to it. Target talent. I don't know if this shows like. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to double check because I know at least a couple years ago there was some that were doing that. Like you'd have one that would be generating percussion, for example, and then another one that would be like generating the guitar sound, and then they get
and it needs to you would need to feed the context temporally of the other layers to that one in order for them to still line up when they come out. And
but I think you could even have in theory like a string context that says like, here's what it looks like, and now go louder or whatever kind of thing. I'm not sure if that's what A-Step is still doing, but I know years ago when I was looking at some of the other generative music at the time, that was one of the things we were doing. I mean, you can also have like different like decoders for music sounds and give them basically generated music, right? Was the other thing. Like you could actually just generate music notes or equivalent of that and then give it to something that can play that instrument. And then so you can actually have kind of DLM as an orchestrator to those different instruments. I don't think that's what A-Step is doing here exactly, but that was one of the other things at the time was like, you can have it generate music notes basically, and then like sheet music, and then you give that to decoders for basically that. But I think this is a little bit different here. But we'll find out in 2 weeks. Come back for the next stream. I shared the link in the chat. You'll probably get invited to it if you're not already in there as well. So I'll invite everyone that was in here on Luma. But that was the stream today. Hopefully you found it interesting. It was fun breaking some models real time with too much context. It was really fun to see how they broke. And it was also really cool to see how good some of them sound out of the box, and the voice cloning was really cool. It was interesting about just adding in my mannerisms in there too. I wasn't expecting that, so super cool. Hopefully you had fun. Thank you, Jay, for also coming on and showing off your project.
Thanks for doing the stream.
Yep. And I'll talk to hopefully all of you next time, but I'm gonna wrap it up.